baked for about 2 hours. The skin will come right off. The flesh is ready to go. We're going to put this in there to begin our sweet potato pie. You see how the flesh and the skin just comes right off. The best way to do it, you could boil it, but the best way is to roast it. That's where you get maximum sweet potato flavor and color. Okay, so now we got the rest of our stuff in here. We got that beautiful puree of sweet potato. We have the sugar, we have the butter, but I'm not putting the eggs in yet because even though everything is room temperature, we don't want to scramble them because I am whipping this all together with the sweet potato warm so that the butter can melt and incorporate well. So we're going to let this go for a little while until it's well incorporated. Now it's time to add the eggs in slowly. I have my 4 eggs here already pre-cracked. Remember, we pre-cracked them to make sure there's no shells. Never crack directly into the mix, especially when it's on, because then you're going to have a very bad time with a crunchy thing and maybe take out someone's filling. So just put the eggs in 1 at a time or 2 at a time. Just if you're looking at the recipe with this is double the recipe because it's for Thanksgiving, so we're going to make more. Alright, so as that's going, let's talk about our dry team. And don't feel the need to push this thing up to 10 because it's going to look like a baby food factory exploding in your house. Okay? So please don't do that. It's getting smooth. So I talked about our spices here. The recipe says cinnamon and nutmeg, but I'm still not pumpkin-y kind of feeling. So I have the pumpkin spice homemade that we make. Same amount, 2 teaspoons instead of 1 teaspoon each of nutmeg or cinnamon, the vanilla, and one of my secret ingredients that I love to use is a very good maple syrup. Helps caramelize, but also gives that extra sweetness. Okay, now we don't want it too crazy sweet because we're going to add the marshmallows on top, and that will happen in a little bit. So let's go ahead and add the dry. Nice and easy. Okay. And then incorporate a little bit of vanilla. And guys, I'm very green with this kind of stuff. Please reuse these. Wash these. Don't throw them away. Okay. And then the maple syrup. Okay. Remember, it's a good maple syrup, not like Aunt Jemima syrup or pancake syrup, but a good syrup, preferably from the north, Vermont, Canada. Anyway, this has the PDO, product of origin, on it, which means it's official. Alright, so let's let this go a little bit more. Like I said, don't want to put it too high because then it's going to look like you had an explosion at the baby factory, food factory. Or if you have younger siblings or children yourselves, you know the idea of getting food splattered everywhere. Okay? Alright, just work out some of those lumps. And don't worry if there's lumps, it's all good. It's going to bake out. So we're going to bake this for about 15 to 20 in a pan. I like to usually do this in little tart shells, okay, but we don't have them right now. And we're going to just do it in a pan, bake it, and then once it's almost done, after about 15 to 16 minutes, we're going to add the marshmallow. So we've put a decent amount of Pam, as you can see here. And then we're going to pour all this goodness, go from the center out. Like I said, I'm doubling the recipe because it's for Thanksgiving, and a lot of people, they like this, especially when it's in a tart. They just think it's dessert, but people will beast on this, so you better have somebody regulating service or they're going to take it all for themselves. Okay, so I'm going to scrape this guy out, put him in the oven at 375 for about 17 to 18 minutes, okay? And you can see, just give it a little shake back and forth, maybe drop it as we've done in class, just to make everything cohesive, no air bubbles. And then once it's nicely roasted, we will put the marshmallows on top as the final touch. Usually if you're doing this for Thanksgiving, you do this the day before, and as it's cold, you add a ton of marshmallows And when I say a ton of marshmallows, I mean the whole goddamn bag. Okay? Put that on there. And then let it bake until golden brown. You'll see them get all poofy, and it'll be amazing. Check this bad boy out. Comes out clean, we're good. So let's put our little toothpick, or in this case I'm using a temp. Not yet, not yet. You see the sides here, they're set. So they're coming out dry, but this is a double portion, so this is gonna need at least another half hour to 45 minutes. Come back, brah. So like I said, we're gonna put massive amounts of marshmallows. But if you look here, I like to put them all the way up to here. Because once you bake them tomorrow, for about maybe 5 to 10 minutes at like a high heat, like 400 degrees, they'll puff up and get nice and golden brown. You don't want to torch them because they'll get too black and charred. You don't want to do that. So we're just gonna, oh my God, oh God in heaven. Is this even enough yet? Push down a little bit. So it'll help, like, kind of like be a glue. I mean, like I said, like if you don't have the little mini crusts that I was giving out today, you can also make like a graham cracker crust. You could use pre-made crusts at the store. But I'm putting this whole darn bag on here because my kids cannot get enough of this. And yeah, it may look like an insane amount, but trust me, it will look gorgy when it's finished. And it's a little warm right now, so it's good because it'll help melt some of the marshmallows on the bottom. And this is just, oh, I mean, kita αυτό πράγμα, τι ωραίο πράγμα, which is Greek for how beautiful, how beautiful. So push it down. My advice also is to use an aluminum pan, because when the marshmallows come to the side and stick, you really don't be scraping anything. I mean, I love to reuse things. You know, like I like to be green, save all the plastics, save everything, reuse them. But in this case, just put in the recycling. Okay. So I'm gonna leave this to cool outside the fridge all night, and tomorrow, when my turkey is about done roasting, I will put this in at like 400, and then you'll see this great poofiness and this great goldenness, and we'll even do a marshmallow pull. Ah yes, right out of the oven. Jiggle, jiggle. Very nice.